Good morning. Well, the room is filling up. People are waking up and enjoying. I just hope they turn the air conditioning down at one point. I'm the president and CEO of Parents Anonymous Worldwide. We are one of the oldest child abuse prevention organizations. We've just celebrated our 45th year, serving more than millions of parents and kids and youth worldwide. And I'm very happy to have some of my colleagues here today. And you are going to be introduced to Tanya Long, who's a program director and parent leadership coordinator in our Ohio office. But more importantly, she is the only living parent today who ever testified to pass CAPTA. In 2008, when Congress came to Parents Anonymous and said, "Why don't you testify?" I said, "Why don't you have parents?" They said, "Great, Lisa." And Tanya testified and helped to reauthorize CAPTA. As you come closer. I also want to introduce Kathleen Rowe, the Executive Director of Parents Anonymous of New Jersey, and she's celebrating her 30th year with Parents Anonymous and her dedication to strengthening families in New Jersey. We are very happy here to talk and to honor and to partner with the federal agency, as well as many colleagues in the room. I'd have to put on many glasses to see you all, and I hope you come up and say hello. We really believe that parents are the key to all that we're doing, and that if we reach out to families in a positive way and support families through evidence-based programs like ours and other programs that we partner with, that we have turned the tide in prevention at all levels. We established 2 awards, particularly because we want to honor the role of parent leaders. In Parents Anonymous, we do nothing without parents, whether it's developing a curriculum, whether it's launching the National Parent Helpline or the National Certification of Parent Leaders and Staff on Shared Leadership Worldwide. Those were all developed and implemented with parents in significant leadership roles, making policy, implementing programs, overseeing evaluation in every aspect of what we do. And we feel that that is the best way to create better outcomes for families. It's not about doing it to people, it's working with them. We call our campaign Standing With Families. We are standing side by side with families to support them, not to take over families, not to lecture families, but to empower them. So our first award, and our awardees are not here, so Kathleen Rowe, please step up, because they are very busy leaders in the community, is Bob Stone, Robert Stone from New Jersey. He has received the 2014 Jolly K Award, the founding mother of Parents Anonymous, who I know Tom Birch talked about, who was the first parent to testify in Congress to pass CAPTA in 1974. And when Walter Mondale and Pat Schroeder came to a Parents Anonymous group, you have to realize there were not many prevention programs. They were totally in awe of what the parents were doing to change their lives and asked Jolly K to come testify. In the journal Social Policy, if you look back in 1975, staff, including Tom Birch and others, wrote an article about the most meaningful impact of that hearing, which was to hear from a real parent about their struggle and how they turned their life around. And she was an inspiration for millions of other parents. So Bob Stone is receiving the 2014 Jolly K Award for his extraordinary courage, commitment, and tenacity as a Parents Anonymous parent leader committed to strengthening families.
Thank you very much. Obviously, I'm not Bob Stone, but when Bob received this award, he was so excited and so thrilled, and I said to him, I will move heaven and earth to raise the money to get you to New Orleans, because as you all know, nobody funds you to fly to New Orleans. And he looked at me like I was crazy, and he said, Kath, who's going to take care of my 4 grandkids? You go. You get the award for me, and you give a shout out from the Men of Father Time, which is one of the most successful fatherhood groups in New Jersey, sponsored by Parents Anonymous, and tell them thank you so much. Bob Stone has the heart of a lion. He doesn't know I can't, I won't. 10 years ago when I first met him, Bob said, I was doing a focus group for why men didn't get involved with prevention programs. And Bob said, well, we want to be with other men. And we don't want people talking down to us. And we want to learn from each other. And we want to do things for the community. We want to be leaders. You know, New Jersey, come on. You know, you got the whole accent thing going here. We want to be leaders in the community. We want to give back. So these guys do fishing derbies, and they do father-daughter kings and princesses dances, and they march in the St. Patrick's Day parade. And they bring a pride to the Keansburg community, which was decimated, as you well know, by Hurricane Sandy. So Bob and his partner, Jeff Johnson, a social worker, to me are they exemplify the Jolly K Award most, because it was a parent and a professional, a social worker and a parent, forming a partnership, and now their group is 40 men strong. So it just speaks to the importance of meaningful partnerships. And from all the guys in Keansburg, Father Time, and New Jersey, we thank you, and we thank you for this award.
Thank you, Kathy. Also, she forgot to mention, but ABC World News Tonight, Cynthia McFadden came to Keansburg after contacting us and interviewed Bob and other parents, and there was a segment about the month it was that aired on ABC News about Parents Anonymous and these dads in their group, which was wonderful. If you want to see that, you can go on the Parents Anonymous website to see that segment of ABC News. Secondly, because of our belief in shared leadership, Tanya, would you step up on behalf of Tim Phipps? And their pictures are in your books. I thought their pictures would be up there. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. I can't see over there very well. Tim was nominated by Parents Anonymous of Oregon, and all these awardees are selected by the National Parent Leadership Team of Parents Anonymous for his exemplary commitment and dedication to achieving meaningful shared leadership to strengthen families nationwide. So Tanya is accepting on behalf of Tim.
Thank you very much. And since I have not had the honor of meeting Tim, who is from Oregon, he did send us his speech, and I'd like to read it to you now. Tim says, "Hello, everyone, and thank you. It is an incredible honor to be an inspiration to receive the 2014 Parents Anonymous Juanita Chavez National Award. It could only be better if I was there with all of you today, deep in conversation about Parents Anonymous and the amazing communities of parents that we are fortunate enough to be a part of. I am so grateful to be in a position to witness the amazing source of strength and support that is uniquely Parents Anonymous. That was not always the case. I am a single father in recovery and have struggled with addiction in various forms for most of my life. Shortly after losing my wife of 40 years and the mother of our 2 children to a drug overdose in 2009, I decided it was time to clean up my act and step up and be a father. Only I didn't know how to be a father. There had never been a father figure or even a positive male role model in my life. For their entire lives, my children had suffered the trauma that comes from living in a household of addiction. Although I had always provided for them financially, my children were often verbally abused and emotionally neglected, despite what I like to think about myself as a parent. Eventually, child welfare removed my youngest child, my daughter, from my care and deemed me unsafe. When the drugs and alcohol were removed from the equation and my path of recovery had begun, I was no longer abusive and neglectful, but I still didn't know how to be the father that I always wanted to be. I didn't know what that meant or where to start. I began searching for someone or something to help me figure out this parenting thing. I walked into my first meeting of Parents Anonymous when I was about 6 months clean and sober, a group with about 12 moms and dads. Though the group was warm and welcoming, I was reluctant to speak at first, afraid everyone would see me for the horrible parent I believed I had become. I listened as the first parent shared about the daily challenges that she was having as a single mother with 3 small children. I listened as the other parents in the group gave her feedback in a way of support, encouragement, and most of all by reaching out through mutual support. It was what I was looking for. By the time that group was over, I knew I had come to the right place. I had found what I was looking for. I began attending the group every week and discovered that the ability to share our challenges as parents in a supportive, non-judgmental environment was perceived as an act of strength. I began to develop friendships and, for the first time in my life, a true sense of community. The shared leadership and mutual support among parents was and continues to be a solid foundation from which healthy families can be built. I know this to be true. This is my story. 4 months after walking into my first group of Parents Anonymous, I was reunited with my daughter, and 4 years later, she is 17. Our lives are far from perfect, but she enjoys more stability than she has ever known before, and I am learning to be the father I always wanted to be, the father that she has always deserved to have. I am now a Parents Anonymous parent mentor and group facilitator, in which I support other moms and dads in their recovery journey, resulting in strong families. The shared leadership model work is so rewarding. I consider it a privilege to participate in meaningful dialogue with other parents like me, which were it not for Parents Anonymous, these concerns might not have been dealt with openly and in a supportive manner. To witness the transformation of individuals as they find their voice, advocate for their families, and create change as they experience what it feels like to be a positive role model in the lives of their children, their families, and their communities has been and continues to be one of the most humbling and rewarding experiences of my life. My deepest appreciation to Parents Anonymous, parents, staff, and volunteers worldwide, and all of you who are engaged in this life-changing work. Congratulations, Tim.